Hi, everybody, and we back. Hopefully, all of you can slowly make your way back into this feed. We've started a new feed. Camera issues have been solved. Thank you to Joey and our production team for working hard on the fly here on a crazy draft night. And look at that. I got another pick for you. Shams reporting that the Atlanta Hawks are picking AJ Griffin at number 16, the product out of Duke. Definitely, I would say, the highest player still available on a lot of people's draft boards. And not somebody that we talked a lot about as a potential pick for the Bulls. And welcome back to my guy, Big Dave. Yay! AJ Griffin going to Atlanta at 16. We are two picks away. Oh, my goodness. This is exciting. And we got a brand new stream up. Brand new stream up. Hopefully you guys are finding your way here little by little.
Yeah, y'all ain't going nowhere. Come on through.
I love that. 540 people were hanging out with us just now.
Wasn't
Hopefully,
that
let's
amazing?
work to get that number back up there.
Come
We've
on
already
back
got
in.
175
baby.
and counting.
Come on back in.
Samuel in comments saying, and we back. Oh, we back, baby.
Oh, we back.
We back.
Faces on
We're
the
right
screen.
here.
You see
I
all
saw
this
some people in the comments
amazingness?
being like, wait, why are we not seeing the dudes on the camera anymore?
That's
It's
right.
'cause we had an issue.
Somebody said the screen broke from my radiating my love on the screen.
It could have been.
It could have been a thing.
It could have been.
It's not the first time.
I got some pizza.
You got some pizza?
It gave Will a quick
I need a
time out
pizza
to get
break.
a slice of pizza.
Needs a pizza break.
I need to get some energy before the Bulls pick.
That's right, man. Damn it. Let that man have his pizza.
In between bites of your slice there, Goat, any thoughts on the Hawks going with AJ Griffin?
I mean, just literally the perfect player to put in between Trae Young and whatever they do at center.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to be a monster shooter. I think his offensive creation was stunted at Duke. He was much better at that in high school, had the injuries, and then obviously played alongside Banchero. I think he's going to be a stud at the NBA level. Pretty sad he didn't fall 2 more picks because, like, for the past couple years, I've been really high on him. I think he's going to be really good. Had just an outstanding shooting season. I think 45% on threes. Just an absolute ratchet. So he is a hooper. I think there are probably some medical flags that with his knees that made him fall a little bit is the only thing I can think of. But man,
He's that good.
I think he's going to be really good. And next to Trae Young, I think is just such a good fit.
Yeah, putting a shooter next to Trae Young is definitely a plus.
Like, he could be that guy that they wanted Cam Reddish to be, that they wanted DeAndre Hunter to be, that they wanted Kevin Huerter to be, that they've just been dying for, that every team really is. So
yeah, not just the shoot, but the consistency, you know what I'm saying, of the shot, man. Knowing you could depend on that guy who can get you maybe 15 to 19 points a game. Like, 'cause sometimes that's all you need when you got a dynamic guard like Trae Young who's going to carry the load like that. Just hit your shots when he's getting you open once, man.
Share the load.
It will change things. It will change a lot of things. So,
I'm sorry, my mind went straight to Samwise Games when Samwise Games when you said that.
Never apologize
Share
for that
the
greatness,
load.
sir. Never apologize.
I love how shout out to Barton Shaw in the comments. You said, so it turns out we're down to EJ Liddell and Tari Eason after all. It's all meant to be. It is crazy that those two guys are still on the board. As we are 2 picks away from the Bulls at 18.
It should be interesting. It's going to be interesting, man.
Oh,
Fingers up.
Oh, my goodness.
He's got the finger up. Joey's got the finger up, and I don't like how he said,
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my damn.
Is this happening?
From Woj, the Rockets focused on LSU's Tari Eason at 17.
Will, I'm sorry.
Wow. I'm sorry, Will. That was your number 1, right? On your top 5 big board?
They don't want us to be great.
Man.
Oh, man.
We've talked about him a bunch. I love Tari. I think he's going to be an absolute menace on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Creating offense, just being a handful for anybody. Just the size that you need for a 4 sort of small ball 5 type of player. The Rockets are loading up now. I really like what they have with they've got Jalen Green, they've got they took Jabari Smith, they've got Tari Eason, and they've got Şengün, and they've got another pick. So they are putting together a great draft alongside the Pistons and the Thunder, the top worst 3 records in the league.
Yeah.
So good for those 3 teams, but that was really the last really high guy on my big board here with Mark Williams also falling. So
you looking at
I
what I
think
said?
I think we're in trade down territory.
I'm looking at Ryan K in the comments who said trade back. This sucks.
There go the Bulls fans I missed.
Oh, man. Also, I'm just going to throw that out here real quick. If you recall back to our Tuesday episode when I gave you all my points bet pick of the week,
Flex.
what did I say? Tari Eason under 17.5.
You did.
Boom! Goes
did.
at number 17. You're welcome.
You're
welcome.
The joy of being right is that man right
Best
there.
feeling on earth, man.
Oh, and one more thing about AJ Griffin, his father, Adrian Griffin.
Adrian?
Yes. Shout out, former Chicago Bull.
NBA
Adrian
ledge.
Griffin. Yes.
Bull and coach.
And coach. And coach. In his mind. And his brain, too. Man, this is getting exciting, dog. Okay, you're right here.
We lost Duren, Griffin, Tari, and Jalen Williams in 6 picks.
Yeah.
Those were my 4 guys.
So I lost 3 of my big board. You know what I'm saying? 3 guys on my big board are going Mark Williams, Jalen, and Tari are off of mine.
We got people in the comments saying this pick's getting traded. It doesn't matter. We got other people chanting EJ. Another vote for EJ for my guy Jake right here.
This.
Also,
I like this.
I have yet to say
That's your
this
shot? That's your
until
shot?
just now.
I'm scared.
I have yet to say this until just now.
Okay.
Another reason I would not mind EJ Liddell being our guy. My oldest niece's name, EJ.
Okay. My nephew,
EJ?
EJ.
We both have niece/nephew with the initials EJ?
Of course we do. He's Evan Jr. Yes, Evan
It's
Jamal.
like we
so
have
yes,
one
we call
brain
him EJ.
and one life.
One tag.
So you guys,
And
we
it
are
Bulls.
on the clock.
We're
here.
on the clock.
We're on the clock.
The Bulls
Oh my God.
are on the clock.
We're on the clock. Keep calm, people. Keep calm.
I'm freaking out, man.
After this pick, a jersey swap sale happened. I'm just
Oh
letting y'all
my
know.
God.
I will say, in terms
Jersey swap
of
shall happen.
sort of the consensus big board here, Malachi Branham has slid a little bit. I think he's good value. He was 15 on my board.
We chatted about him a little while back, you know, EJ's teammate.
I like Blake Wesley. Obviously, we have EJ Liddell, who I think is going to be a really solid player, and then Dalen Terry was the other guy. So I think any of those guys could be good fits, but I also wouldn't rule out a trade down here.
Wouldn't rule it out, baby.
On the
Let's
clock.
do this. Let's do this. I'm ready for all it.
So
This is
we're-
exciting. This is
So
exciting.
you guys
man.
are both EJ Liddell.
I'm EJ Liddell.
If it happens, I will be more than happy with it.
I'll be fine with it.
I
Yes.
won't be like ecstatic, you know, game changer.
Right.
This draft pick
Right.
alone
Turning the table
projects
over.
the Bulls up from the 6th seed to
Right.
the 2nd seed. No,
Exactly.
I just think that he can provide right out of the gate a lot of things that this Bulls squad could use.
Completely agree.
And that's why I'd be happy with it.
Completely agree with all of that. So it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be
Niles,
interesting.
dude, people need to let it go on Kofi Cockburn, okay?
Let it go, man.
Not happening.
Let
At
it go.
18, you're out of your mind.
Go, man.
Love
Let it go.
Kofi. Love
Let it
watching
go.
him play at U of I.
So,
Bring him to camp as an undrafted free agent.
Paul said, "Let's get Dave's pick." Kai was number 5 on the list, bro. 5th. All right, we cool. I'm not. You saw who's number 1. Number 1 was that E to the chisel.
Dude,
Let's see if we get him.
my heart just skipped a beat because I saw a fresh tweet from Woj, and all it was just explaining further why the Rockets like Tari Eason. Not the time, Woj.
Not the time, bro.
Not
Nobody
the
cares.
damn time.
Give us what we want. We want to know. We want to know now.
Give it to me.
Bulls
Give
Nation
it to me.
wants it.
Give it to me.
Hand it over.
I do think the longer we wait here, the more
likely it
potential
means
trade
that there's a
talks
trade in the
could be
works,
going
or-
on in the background.
What's that?
Yeah, I was saying exactly what you were. I think the longer it takes to make this pick,
The monkey wrench?
more potential trade talks could be going on in the background. That's just a
Tick-tock,
guess,
tick-tock?
but tick-tock.
Tick tock.
On the clock here.
Uh-huh.
Oh man,
Is that Dr. Evil?
Yes. Everybody forgets that part at the end. Oh, that was the best part of it. Oh, my God.
I also want to just say here real quick before this pick is made.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
I have to remind myself that the 18th pick in this draft was never going to be the piece that put them over the edge.
No.
I'm always wanting that upside swing, that guy who's going to turn into the guy. And I just have to temper my expectations and say that out loud to hold myself accountable.
Okay,
Just,
all right.
just get value.
Just
get
get good
value
value.
at the pick. And I think that that's really all you can ask for.
Yeah, that's it. That's all.
Mike
you
in the
really
comments
ask.
just said, show us your Burks, man. Here you go.
There you
Here they
are.
are. Here they are right here.
There you go.
Beautiful, comfortable as always.
Actually, like Will shoes.
If you don't have Burks in your life, what are you doing?
Will shoes are really dope, bro. Honestly, those are really dope.
Our guy Lawrence over here, just off camera, is obsessed with Will's shoes. He was like, we were just like getting underway somewhere within the first half hour of the show, and he was like waving frantically over at me, trying to get my attention. I'm like, what? And he just pointed at Will's shoes. I'm like, are you trying to tell me right now that you like Will's shoes? Cool, Lawrence.
You weren't doing that? So were you flailing
I'll
about?
take it. Thank you.
No flailing about. Because I before he walked on the set, I said those shoes are amazing. I pointed them out as well. I thought they were incredible. So yeah.
Sampo, no tweet yet.
Nope, it's another Kemba tweet from Woj.
Also, a
Woj,
new
you're
login
killing us.
alert. Someone has logged into your CHGO Bulls account. Which one of you? Which one of you was it?
Woj did it.
It's okay, everybody. It was Casey. False alarm. False alarm.
We're getting hacked.
We're getting hacked.
Barton said Matt's hitting up a creek later with those rolled up jeans and Berks. Huck Finn, that's my style. I ran out of clean shorts, had to wear jeans to work, got to roll them
Huck
up.
Finn is not a style.
Says
I'm
you.
just letting you
And
know
we got
this.
our guy, Coach Spins. We'll bring him in after the Bulls make their pick.
Okay.
Sounds
All right,
great.
perfect.
Jake Fisher just tweeted that the Bulls' 18th pick has been one mid-round selection long considered to be available for trade. So
Wow,
Thanks.
Thanks.
thanks for that.
Thanks for that nothing, Jake Fisher.
Appreciate that.
Meanwhile, a little update on Kemba here from Woj.
The pick is in.
The pick is in.
The pick is in.
The pick is in.
It's my guy,
Who's your guy?
Dalen Terry,
Dalen Terry.
Arizona
What?
wing.
Not on my board.
Wow. Wow.
Dalen Terry. Dalen Terry.
I love this pick.
Please tell us more.
He was. Where was my big board? I think he was like number 4 or something.
Nice.
Super late riser in the draft process, but it just really quickly became one of my favorite players. He is a 6'7.25" wing who can guard 2, 3, and probably a little bit of 4. He's very thin, so we'll need to put on some weight, but just an absolute awesome passer, playmaker. He moves well without the ball. He makes quick reads and good decisions, and he defends all over the perimeter. We have a Andre Iguodala comp here because I think of the great perimeter defense and lack of shooting. He'll need to work on the jump shot, but we're talking about a guy who is a super versatile defender who's got size and who, can be a really good offensive connecting piece. I think this is a great pick. It was a little bit higher than I think most teams would have taken him, but he was top 4, I think, on my board for a reason. I'm a really big fan of his.
I love how Will had him on the board, man. This is why he is the GOAT, ladies and gentlemen. This is why. Stuff like this knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, the main reason why I love him is well said in the comments from David, who said he's a wing who is also a point guard. Which, the Bulls had played kind of like a weird quasi, do we have a point guard or do we not? When Lonzo was healthy, bring the ball up the floor sometimes. Sometimes they let Zach bring it up. Sometimes they let DeMar bring it up. But, I mean, talk about that size at 6'7" with a 7'1" wingspan. It's
pretty damn
Give
impressive.
me all of that.
It's pretty damn
I
impressive.
want it.
Man.
I need it.
And also an older guy, coming in at 21 years old out of Arizona that, and the defensive activity, as they call it. You know what I'm saying? He definitely possesses those things. So, yeah, I'm with it. Like I said from the beginning, whoever they get, I am with. We can say it together. Whoever they get, I am with. Put it on a shirt.
And then
Damn it. Let's go.
Jeremy Wu of Sports Illustrated just tweeted that the Bulls received a lot of trade interest in the 18th pick, but they're keeping Dalen Terry here per sources. So
okay.
Sounds like they maybe could have traded down, but maybe felt like they wouldn't have gotten their guy. Like I said, I really love this pick.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that they actually did it. It felt like he would have gone in the mid-20s, but I'm for it. I think he's going to be a really, really productive player.
Yeah.
Kind of has some IO in his game in terms of being a little bit off ball, but being able to create from sort of a non-traditional position. Is going to have to work on the jumper, although I think he was around 35, 36% from 3. But just a really good perimeter defender all around. I think he provides a ton of versatility that the Bulls really need. I mean, we're talking about a team that had 6'5", 6'5", 6'5", 6'5". So he's got a little bit more length and size, and that is going to come in handy.
Shout out to our guy, Sean Hyken, who we just had here with us in studio a few weeks back, who, when Dalen Terry was working out for the Blazers back on June 15th, Hyken tweeted this quote from Dalen Terry on being projected as a late first rounder. Dalen Terry, quote, "There's going to be a redraft in 10 years, and it's going to be different." I love that.
I'm going to interject really quick because we got another guest to join us here.
Let's bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. Spins. You know him on YouTube and on the podcast feeds as Coach Spins. It's Adam Spinella.
Yeah.
You can follow him on Twitter at Spinella14, his personal account, or his show, The Box and One, on Twitter, _.
Yes, sir.
Coach Spins, welcome to the CHGO Bulls Draft Show, man. How are you?
What it do, guys? So good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Actually, really, really excited to talk about this pick. I saw Mr. Won't Gottlieb. Big fan of him there. What, 4th or 6th on the board there? That's huge. But big Dalen Terry fan. Think he fits really well with what the Chicago Bulls are building because they just are collecting a lot of these perimeter-oriented glue guys who come in and defend and move the ball and are unselfish and do the right things. Like another Lonzo, another Io, another guy, like even a Javante, like all of these guys on this roster who know their role and are okay with being that connective tissue on a winning team make a ton of sense. I think with Terry, the one thing that I know you guys have mentioned here, he has that winning makeup. He's ultra competitive. He wants to do the dirty work and all the little things. Like I'll go out on a limb here. He's never going to average 10 points a game in the NBA. He's just never going to do it. But he's going to carve out a 10-year career for himself because he's going to be the ultimate teammate, the ultimate glue guy, move the basketball, defend at a high level, and be a really, really good help defender. I think that that's an underrated trait that a lot of young guys don't necessarily have, to be that lack the experience, but be that good in that aspect of the game. Really, really important. So big fan of Dalen Terry right here.
Yeah, Spence, I want to say something to you real quick before we dive into all this, man. There's nobody's videos who I watched more for this draft process than Boxing One. The breakdowns are amazing. Like, it was just absolutely incredible. And because Matt knows me like this, I am a huge music fan, and the music on there is absolutely incredible. Who is picking the music? That's what I want to know. Who's picking them beats?
I pick the beats. Doing that entire process. Yeah, we're a one-man show here at the Boxing One.
We gotta hang out, Spins. Yo, your ear is on point. I'm just saying, your ear is on point.
I just want to say, like, Dave could not be more right about that. Your draft coverage this year was outstanding. I tweeted it today, but you were truly the MVP of draft coverage this year. I'm super excited to pick your brain about Dalen Terry because he, as I said, kind of came on to the scene a little bit late here, was a late riser. What are your sort of hopes and aspirations for him as a player and how he fits with the Bulls?
Yeah, so I think first and foremost, going about his journey, right? 2-year player at Arizona. I think a lot of people thought that he was going to be more of a 2023 trendy first-round pick. Ended up learning to shoot midway through the season. Got on a real tear in the late part of the year after being played most of the year as a non-shooter. I think that that's really important context because as he made a couple mechanical tweaks in that late January, early February part of the year, he started to knock them down with more confidence and more consistency. Now, teams still played really far off of him because of the reputation that he garnered as a freshman and through the first part of his sophomore year. So as he got a little bit better, he was still knocking down shots, but getting a lot of wide open ones. I'm curious to see at the NBA level, 1, does he shoot the way that he shot in the final few months of the year? And 2, if he does, do defenses close out to him a little bit more vigorously on the perimeter? And how does he shoot it then? So really toolsy playmaker and passer. I think his journey is part of what makes him really interesting. Played with on AAU teams, a lot of really high-level prospects. Like I know he and Ty Washington are super, super tight. And as a lot of his teammates and buddies ended up getting those accolades, he was that killer and that dog in the background that continued to work, continued to improve at the things he needed to improve at. But the swing skill for him is going to be shooting because as good of a passer and playmaker as he is on the offensive end, he's not a very good scorer or finisher on the interior right now. I think that that's going to be part of his game that he absolutely has to work on if he's going to play with the ball in his hands. But more about scalability for coming in, being a role player right away next to the likes of Levine, DeRozan, and whoever else they have as their big guys on this roster. You have to be able to shoot the basketball. And early on in his career, that's the way that Dalen Terry is going to earn his minutes. And coincidentally, that's the biggest kind of question mark in his offensive game right now.
Shifting from Dalen Terry for a minute, Joey, we have another fresh pick in. Following the Bulls at 18, pick 19 was Minnesota on the clock. Memphis is acquiring this number 19 pick from Minnesota and planning to use that pick for a guy that we had on our potential Bulls boards and a deep dive on, Wake Forest's Jake LaRavia at that 19th pick.
Wow.
Coach Spins, first impressions on Memphis making that move to 19 and taking Jake from Wake Forest there.
Well, I think anytime you have 2 first-round selections, you're always primed to move up and get somebody that you really like. I think that LaRavia had some buzz and some interest from the San Antonio Spurs, just some rumors that I've been hearing. So if they felt like 19 is what they had to do to leapfrog San Antonio at 20 to get their guy, then it makes sense. Like Memphis loves shooters. That's just what they do. Surround John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. with a bunch of role-playing floor spacers who are high IQ and toolsy on the defensive end. LaRavia fits that to a T. I think it's a solid fit right there for Memphis. A little bit of a reach for me because I have some concerns on the defensive end with how he moves. But at the end of the day, a big toolsy forward who shoots the crap out of it. That's Memphis all over it.
So the Wolves receive picks 22 and 29 in this here draft for allowing the Grizz to move up there. So curious to see what Minnesota does there. I was always kind of underwhelmed by Jake LaRavia. Yeah. Just nothing about him in particular. No one skill set jumped off the page to me. But if there is one thing, as you mentioned, Coach Spins, it's the fact that Memphis loves shooters, and the guy can shoot.
He can definitely do that, and the quick hands as well too. He's pretty good at that as well.
But I think for me, I guess the thing about LaRavia, and I think he's going to be a very good player, is just a little bit lacking upside. Like he basically slots into that big 4 spacer, can move the ball a little bit, can run in transition. I think he's going to be very good. But a pick like Dalen Terry to me has a little bit more upside. Would you agree with that? Yes and no?
Yes and no. Like I think that anytime you can add shooting to your roster and really dependable shooting, like there's a baseline of floor that you're going to get some productivity out of. I think anytime that you take somebody whose shooting is a question mark and they're not going to project as a top 2 or 3 option on the offensive end, there's always going to be questions about, do they do enough things on the offensive end to be on the floor in crunch time, to carve out a second contract in the NBA. So I don't think Terry is a risk because he has so many intangible factors. But at the end of the day, like shooting is shooting, and it's the most valuable thing you can bring to the table if you're not a star player. So I had Terry 20th on my board. I had LaRavia in the, I think, late 30s, early 40s. So I had my questions about LaRavia, wasn't that high on him. But in the right fit, in the right context where he's not asked to do too much, he's a good pick.
Spins, is there somebody you are surprised to still see on the board as we approach pick 20 here?
I'm a little surprised that Ty is still out there. I'm a big Ty Washington fan. I believe in the Kentucky effect, right? Where guys who play in that scheme and system, and we've seen it year after year with Manuel Quickley and Tyrese Maxey and even Booker and Murray and Hero, they don't get the reins handed to them until they get to the NBA. I think Ty is capable of doing so much more with the ball in his hands than he showed in his 1 year there at Kentucky. And would be a firm believer that he's going to deliver some really good long-term value to whoever ends up with him.
So going back to Terry, we know what his main strength and his main question mark is, that's the shooting. The defense and the shooting. But what is a strength and a question mark for you that most people probably aren't seeing on Terry that you've noticed?
Yeah, for me, it's going to be finishing. I don't want to say worried about finishing. Whenever you have a 7-foot wingspan, you should be pretty good at it. But for as athletic and bouncy as he can be in the open floor, I don't think he plays that way in the half court, shrinks himself a little bit as a finisher, needs a little more touch with his left hand. That's one area that I would really like to see a little bit more of improvement in. But one thing that I'm really high on with Dalen Terry is how he shoots passing lanes. Like, his arms are, I call them Inspector Gadget arms. Like, he just reaches out there and pokes the ball away in passing lanes in ways that not a lot of guys can. You can see reversal pass after reversal pass this year in the Pac-12 that people thought they'd be able to complete. They're eyeing up Dalen Terry the whole way, and he still gets to it and pokes it away. Like, he is going to be so good in a transition-oriented scheme with guys like Lonzo, with guys like Levine, who would love to play up-tempo. And any coach that gets a guy like Dalen Terry should let him gamble a little bit in transition, because he's going to create points for himself and others by doing so.
Just interject really quickly. Joey, Inspector Gadget was a very popular television cartoon show in the early 90s.
I love how Matt is in my brain. That was about to be my question to Joey. Do you know who Inspector Gadget is? I was going to ask him that.
I fully do know, and I have.
You do know? I'm proud of you.
Joey does not appreciate the fact that we were just making sure, Joey.
Just making sure.
I was born in 1999, not 2003, Will. I'm old enough to drink. It was brought up earlier this week. Yes, okay, it's funny.
Spins,
you're getting your yucks
we like
out.
to occasionally give our producer Joey a hard time about being
I'm older than all these guys getting drafted.
a young spring chicken.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's the moment in life when I knew I was washed, is when all the players in the draft were younger than me. That was really
That was the moment?
That was-
Yeah.
Okay.
that was a hard moment.
You
for
know
me.
what one was for me recently? I saw the NBA official NBA Twitter account, that wishes every player a happy birthday on their birthday. I saw join us in wishing Thad Young a happy 34th birthday. And I was like, oh God, the guy that I call Old Man Thad, the old guy who played for he just turned 30. He's a year younger than me and then some.
To be fair, man. When we say cranky old man, they immediately thought of you, just to be fair. Like, I don't want to put that on you, man. Just saying, bro. Just saying.
Spins, we got another pick in while we have you here with us, and it is the first of the two Ohio State guys. It's not EJ Liddell. It's Malachi Branham. Lots of activity and tools on his offensive tool belt in the mid-range. We were discussing him earlier on in tonight's show. Maybe not quite the floor spacer that NBA teams are looking for these days, but any thoughts on what really stands out to you about Malachi's game?
I think that Malachi Branham is a tough shot maker, and those guys always have value when you can play with the ball in their hands. The two areas that Branham doesn't have to his game right now are scoring at the rim and scoring from three off the bounce. So those few question marks for me. I know he's a good three-point shooter in terms of spot-up threats, but actually didn't take many off the bounce. I think just 9 overall pull-up threes in the half court. So we talk a lot about guys who play with the ball in their hands and are primary options being 3-level scorers. I think he's a 1-level scorer right now, and it's the mid-range. It's the least analytically pleasing range right now. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not overly high on Branham or I don't see the upside. If you're going to be a primary option in the NBA, the mid-range is something you need to have in your arsenal. You can add range to it out to 3, and he is big and strong and crafty enough to probably bully his way to the rim against some smaller guys. But you have to be so damn good with the ball in your hands and scoring the basketball if you're going to live in that mid-range, and that's going to be where the meat and potatoes of your offense come from. I'm scared away by the defense. I know he's young and he's got time to improve on that end. It was pretty bad as a freshman at Ohio State. So for the right team and with the right context around him, which I think San Antonio always has, he's going to be a worthwhile gamble. And once you get into the 20s, it certainly makes sense. But I'm glad to see that he didn't end up going in the lottery, which got rumored at some point, because I think that would have been a little bit over leveraging the amount of risk that goes into a guy like him.
Well, as y'all see in the top left corner of your screen there, the Denver Nuggets are on the clock. That means we have to let you, Coach Spins, go so you can hop on and join the show with our DNVR Nuggets crew. So Thank you for hopping on with us first. Appreciate your thoughts on Dalen Terry and some of the other picks that went off the board while you were here with us. Again, as Big Dave said, some of the best draft scouting content that was out there this year came from this man and his channel, The Box and One. Follow him on Twitter at Spinella14. Also his channel on Twitter at The Box and One, spelled out _ Spins, thank you so much for joining us, man. Keep up the amazing work.
Let's talk music, Coach.
Spins, please tell Adam Morris that I say hi, that Joey says hi. Tell him. He'll know what it means.
Will he know what it means?
Yeah, he'll get it. He'll get it.
He'll know what it means.
All right, go, because they just made their pick. You gotta
Go, Spins.
All right, Coach.
Shout out to Coach Spins. No, for real. As Dave said, some of the best draft scouting vids I watched this year.
I mean,
came from the
absolute
Box
best.
and One channel.
It was just him. Like everything. As soon as I saw the first one, the first thing that caught my ear was the music. I was like, damn, that's a dope ass. What is this? And then I'm watching the breakdown. I'm like, wow, this is really thorough and really good. And it was just what I wanted. I wasn't listening to everybody talk and telling me. He was just, here, read this. This is what it is. These are the strengths. These are the weaknesses. And he was breaking it down point by point by point by point. Then, the stats. It was absolutely great, man. He's phenomenal, man. I was over the moon when I saw that you said he was coming on the show. You couldn't tell. I didn't want to show it because I was just like, oh, my God, he's coming on. Oh, I can't wait to tell him how much I love what he does.
He's fantastic at what he does. I think he'll probably have a job in the NBA at some point.
Yeah, man.
He is also a great guy. I've known him for a really long time. So
the flexing going on.
Very appreciative for Adam Spinella to come join us here and talk about the Bulls pick.
Yes,
Dalen Terry.
Dalen Terry.
Cass in the comments, I get worried with guys like Terry. Not saying this is all he is. Toolsy athletes who don't have any specific headlining skill can easily turn into Troy Brown Jr. or Chandler Hutch. How dare you mention Hutch's name
For real.
on draft night? This is a sacred night.
How dare you?
We do not speak of that former 22 overall pick.
Get rid of that. Get you some of this.
The 21 pick in this year's draft, however, is in, Joey. And it's going to our pals over there in Denver. Christian Brown.
Christian Brown.
A guy who I had at the bottom of my big board.
He definitely did.
As a guy who would just come in and make shots for the Bulls.
Yes.
Part of that Kansas championship team.
Yes.
From this season. Goes to Denver at 21.
You can never discount guys who won. You know what I mean? You can never discount championship pedigrees, man. So, yeah, I think it's a good pick for them, man. They're definitely going to need that help because that as good as they are, they still aren't there. As good as they are, they're still not there. Even with Jamal Murray, they're still missing a piece or two. So, yeah, good pickup for them, man.
Well, now they have another person for Jokic to make ridiculous over behind the back head passes to.
And that's really what they need. They need versatile defenders who can shoot. And they've got Michael Porter Jr. Hopefully he's healthy. They've got Jamal Murray. Hopefully he's healthy. They've got Bones Highland, who's awesome, but not giving you a ton defensively. They have Aaron Gordon, who's just awesome on that end, really both ends. But they just need – you can never have too many of those guys. And another guy like LaRavia, but definitely with more pop and athleticism, I think he's going to be really good, really solid. And we're seeing a trend here with Agbaji going, with LaRavia going, and now Christian Brown going as well. So a couple of really high upside guys left on the board here. I think I'm a little surprised that have slid. Malachi Branham went 20th to the Spurs, which I like a lot. He's, as we've talked about, big-time mid-range guy, not a huge defender.
Killer in the mid-range, not much else.
Yeah, unless you're DeMar, it's like kind of hard to live in that space. But a lot of interesting talent left on the board. So we're into the 20s here, and as we've talked about, difference between like 18 and 35 is not that huge.
No, it's not. And that's why I thought the Bulls were in a perfect position for them because they like being in that position as far as the front office is concerned. Picking those guys, you know what I'm saying, who are low on the draft board but can come in and make an immediate impact on the team but don't have all that top lottery pick pressure on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think they like picking those kind of guys, man. And this guy looks like that one. He does have that word that I hate, which is combo guard. I can't stand that now. It gets on my nerves. Like I just hate seeing it. But you can't deny the wingspan on him, man. Like if you just go watch the video of him and the passes that he steals and he takes and the way he plays defense, he enjoys it. You know what I mean? Like there's a joy too when he plays. And we talked about what the Bulls needed in here. It was defense and it was shooting.
Right.
And I was like, we get one or the other, I'll be fine with. We get both, that'd be great. So hey, boom, there it is. One question has been answered for the Chicago Bulls. Like I said, whatever they were getting, I'm trusting them and I'm cool with it. Can't wait to watch them in the summer league.
It's a weird. What do you guys think it says about sort of their roster building philosophy at this point? Maybe this is something we can spend more time on in our post live show podcast reaction that we're going to be doing after this.
Yes, sir.
But to me, Terry is another long, sort of defensive-minded guy. He kind of fits in the Io and obviously he doesn't have the upside of Patrick Williams, but he's kind of like one of those longer guys that has, more playmaking and less shooting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm curious about the process here and what it says about the Bulls' future. I'm really, we'll see if there are any other moves to be made, but I'm just thinking ahead here.
And that's the thing too. Like, I think there are definitely moves still to be made by this front office, and I'm just going based off of what we've seen in the past. They've been very aggressive every single offseason about going after whoever they wanted, and so I don't see why that would stop now. I don't see why that won't continue to trend to be a thing. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing it.
Speaking of, this front office probably isn't done. I love the dots that get connected by some Bulls fans. Take Kendrick in the comments here, who said, Dalen Terry going to the Bulls means that Mitchell Robinson might be a lock to the Bulls in free agency.
And why?
So because the Bulls didn't take a big man, but instead took a guard / maybe wing, it means they're getting Mitchell Robinson. I mean, how do you not connect those two dots?
How do you not bring that in?
Right out of the gate.
There it is right there. That's what it is.
Could also mean we're getting Ayton or Gobert.
Oh, we're getting Kevin Durant.
Who we're not getting?
Who we're not getting?
Walker Kessler, because he has been drafted to the Minnesota Timberwolves 22nd overall.
Wow. All right.
So that was well done. Don't skip over that segue right there.
Not bad, right?
That was impressive.
I learned from the best.
That was impressive.
Goat's getting better at them segues.
It is, man. That's smooth stuff.
So that was one of the first of the two picks that Minnesota now has from Memphis, allowing Memphis to trade up with them earlier at 19.
Yeah.
We did a deep dive on Walker Kessler, not because any of the three of us thought that he was necessarily quite the right fit for the Bulls, and then maybe his NBA skill set is a little limited beyond his shot blocking, which of course Bulls fans loved.
Sure.
But we did a deep dive on him because a lot of Bulls fans were like, hey, what about this Walker Kessler guy?
He went exactly like you kind of thought he would go, you know what I'm saying, as far as where he went in the draft. But yeah, like you said, for me, he was that prototypical kind of center. You know what I mean? Like the guy who can block those shots, either hand, the guy who's lanky and long. He's a little more fluid, has a little more athleticism than you're used to for a guy, his size. But again, that's what's been going on and what's normal now in today's NBA is guys having that. But when it comes to him on the defensive side, when he has to switch out on those little guards, he's going to get cooked. Like, it's just what the thing is going to be. He's going to get cooked. But I think he'll be a guy who's in there, like I said, for those 12 minutes, he's going to have you 6 points, 4 blocks, and 4 fouls. Like, I really think that's going to be – he can definitely impact your team because of the length that he has, man, and stuff like that. But, yeah, he seems like a nice prototypical pick.
I like that people are asking, what the Terry pick means for Kobe White. Sampo saying, what does it mean for Kobe, if anything? And some people are saying, well, it clearly means that Kobe's gone.
Clearly.
Other people, including Stephen W. just now in the comments, are bringing up the very valid point that what this could be, among other things, is an insurance policy in case Lonzo's knee is not right.
That's a great point.
Like, we are all kind of just crossing our fingers and waiting in darkness and silence, hoping for an update other than his dad on Cap's show a few weeks ago saying, oh, yeah, my son's fine. Zach's going to the Lakers and my son's knee is fine. We've got nothing, really, when it comes to legitimate updates about Lonzo and that knee that he's had surgery on. And maybe Dalen Terry is a backup policy there.
Well, I did send you the video of him working out on it with his
Goat
knee.
said that was old.
That was an old video?
Old video.
Okay, well, then it ain't.
I'll say this. I'm
just ain't.
Less concerned about Lonzo's knee than I was before. Guys take a really long time to heal from bone bruises, and I think that's kind of all it is. Like, Kendrick Nunn missed the entire season with the bone bruise.
Yeah.
So it happens. It sucks, and hopefully he's better by training camp. For me, this pick is just the fact that they really like this guy. There was a tweet earlier, I'll see if I can find it here, that the Grizzlies had been rumored to like Terry and that they may have been a trade-up partner. So it seems to me like the Bulls had two options here, which is one, grab the guy they liked out of a bunch of candidates that are all kind of same, or two, trade down and take a couple of bites at the apple. They went with the former. They must really like this guy.
Yeah. They have
we can agree or disagree with that thought process, but I think that's kind of what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
We have another trade, gentlemen. Philly trading the 23 pick to Memphis, who's trading into the first round again. Memphis acquiring the 23rd pick from Philly for DeAnthony Melton.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Melton is a really good player.
Okay.
He never really got a real chance, I think, with Taylor Jenkins for whatever reason. Obviously, they've got Bane. Obviously, they've got and Dylan Brooks. But I think he's a real player, and he's going to be great in that 3-guard rotation now with Harden and with Tyrese Maxey. He can kind of play with either of those guys. I think he's a really talented defensive player who can run some pick and roll, be a facilitator in the offense, and also shoot. I'm a big fan of that for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And for Memphis, again, taking more bites at the apple. They clearly like Dalen Terry, but all these guys are kind of approximately the same, and maybe they just want a few more bites on cheap contracts so that by the time Ja gets his extension, Jaren Jackson gets his extension, Dylan Brooks is going to get his extension. Like, this team's going to get expensive really quickly, and they need to supplement with cheap rookie scale contracts that they can continue to just pump through their pipeline of talent development. That's what we saw with Zaire Williams. I think that's just kind of their MO at this point.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So, unfortunately, as you might have noticed, dealing with some camera issues again. So we are going to pause here, stop this stream, hopefully fix these issues, and then come back with you guys to do our draft recap show, which we still plan on doing. And our guy, Mark K, will be with us there for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate the fact that so many of you found us here on this second stream after our first stream.
Awesome.
We can't wait to see you guys back here on the CHGO Sports YouTube channel for our draft recap show with our pal Mark K after that 30th pick is made, which is not that far from now because we are already at pick 23 and counting. By the way, Grizzlies targeting Colorado State's David Roddy at pick 23. So there you go. There's pick 23. So Will to go Golly, Big Dave, and myself, Matt Pack, will be here back with you and Mark K for our draft recap show in just a little while. Appreciate your patience. Stay tuned for more draft night coverage from us here at